So the sad part about the Karmelo Anthony case, coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So as y'all know, the Karmelo case is over. The decision was rendered. He was found guilty in first-degree murder. Now, I can't speak on what degree he should have been charged, but I believe it was the right decision for charging him for murder because he killed someone. Again, you cannot stab someone because they pushed you or they shoved you. Again, this is under law. And it's not just Texas law, it's really all across the country. You can't just push someone because they shoved you. You can't just stab someone because they shoved you. That's against the law. When it comes down to self-defense, the law is clear, it's plain as be wherever you are. If in order for you to use deadly force, there has to be imminent danger to your life or a threat of severe bodily harm. None of these were present in the Karmelo Anthony case, so it was the right decision. Of course, I always say, that people on the left will lie to push a narrative. They're always lying to push narrative because the reason why they lie so much is because they're agenda driven. They're driven by an agenda. They're not driven by the truth. Okay? So they're going to push their agenda to the end, even if they have to lie, which is why they're always lying. And the thing is that Pro.Blacks are a bunch of leftists, and they have absolutely been lying their ass off about this case, just making up a whole bunch of nonsense. And the person who's been out at the forefront of this foolishness is a former rapper, former ghetto boy, Willie D. He has his little podcast, and I used to watch it. I just cannot listen to this dude. This dude is literally an idiot. I used to call Dr. Umar Johnson an idiot. Look, I'm going to have to apologize to Dr. Umar after listening to his videos, watching his videos. My God. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about a list of all the lies that's been spread of this Karmelo Anthony case. Now, the first lie, remember, is that black dude who claimed that he saw the video and gave his testimony with someone recording it.
You seen the video on 2 hours? Was it clear enough, or was it fuzzy, or what?
No, it was clear. It's clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You see that Karmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain, or?
Yeah, it was still raining. The twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them. They were all coming from the direction of the middle school,
right,
coming walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those 4 that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract them a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went and they surrounded Karmelo. If you're Karmelo,
and they showed that on that video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see them walk
I'm gonna
up,
say, look,
that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause. Then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it's more than the twins that got some licks
all
on them.
4.
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle.
Okay.
And you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking, and kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag.
Right.
And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing.
Okay, so with all the witness testimony that we see, that was at the trial, all the transcriptions, all the media reports that are saying otherwise, and somehow his testimony is true and everybody else is lying. Yeah, that's right. So they threw the bag But then Karmelo Anthony was still able to get the knife out the bag to stab somebody to death. Come on, this dude was lying his ass off, just making it up as he goes. But that's what leftists do. They're willing to lie. Now, the next one is they bullied him. Again, they bullied him how? Because they ganged up on him. But once again, they ganged up on him how? Based on what? That's not what the witness testimony says. This is rumor been spread by black people, and of course, all you got to do is just spread a rumor, and then it spreads like wildfire with them. But where is the evidence that Karmelo Anthony, they bullied him by just simply asking him to get out of the case, just simply asking him to get from under their tent? Again, bullying him by telling him over 15 times to leave. And again, Austin Metcalf bullied him by telling him that he didn't want to fight him at a track meet, really. Now, the next lie that they keep spreading was that Karmelo Anthony was afraid. Really, once again, if you are afraid, do you have to be told 15 times to leave or several times to leave? If you really truly was afraid, you would leave. You wouldn't tell them to make you move. Okay, and then tell them to touch you and see what happens, and then tell them to punch you and see what happens. Of course, he had the courage of a knife with him, but that's not the behavior of a person who's afraid and fear. Again, a person who's afraid would have left the first time and would have found shelter somewhere else if you really truly were afraid. So that's a damn lie. Now, the next lie is everybody ganged up on him. Again, this is the nonsense that's being spread from the supposed people who saw the video. But then again, they've been saying this since the beginning, that they ganged up on him. They've been saying this since the beginning, before anyone saw any video. The question is, they ganged up on him based upon what? Now, I guess that we're going to have to eventually see the video of what actually happened. But there's never been any real evidence that anyone ganged up on him. They just made these lies up to try to find something to cry about. And then the next lie is they had the Metcalf brothers have a history of bullying people. Again, no evidence to support this. More made up nonsense. Nobody's ever provided single-threaded evidence that the Metcalf brothers were a bunch of bullies in schools growing up. Next lie. The brothers were suspended from school. Again, a lie. They were not suspended from school. They were never suspended from school. Again, this is a lie to try to demonize them, to make them look bad, which these people, they have no problem whatsoever spreading nonsense and lies. Now, I will say this, though. I also heard the rumor that Karmelo Anthony had been suspended from school as well for having a knife. But though that wasn't true, he was warned twice about having a knife, but he was never suspended from school. So we got to call it both sides. Now, the next lie that they spread was that Austin hurt his dad's arm and put his dad in the hospital. Again, they went overtime with all these lies. It never happened. There's no evidence or report of him harming his father, getting into a fight with his father and hurting his father and breaking his father's arm. Never happened. But black folks don't care about the truth. Next lie. Karmelo Anthony had injuries. Again, they claim that they basically stomped on him and they ganged on him and stomped on him, and as the black dude said, everybody got licks in and they had him in a headlock, and I guess one of the brothers DDT'd him while the other brother had him in a figure four leg lock. He's just making up these lies. But where is the evidence that Karmelo Anthony had these injuries? Karmelo Anthony didn't have a scratch on him. Now they claim that there was an edited photo. Well, if they had the real photos, then you telling me that the defense never presented this in court? If that's the case, they must have had the worst defense ever. In reality, it wasn't that they had the worst defense, is that nobody could have defended Karmelo Anthony. It was just as open and shut case as you ever see. But anyway, If there really truly was these pictures of him having all these injuries, then somebody please present them. I'm sorry, did nobody present these pictures yet? It sounds like a bunch of BS. You think TMZ would have the video and the photos? They would have put it out by now if this were the case. Anyway, so now we're gonna go on to the last lie, and I would have to say my favorite lie. He had a cleat sharpener. Now I looked this up. There is no such thing as no damn cleat sharpener. They'll tell you the lies that these people are willing to tell. Then nobody's sharpening up no damn cleats. Now there is such a thing as a cleat tool. This is a tool that's used to help basically replace removable cleats, which you have to screw them off and on. The tool exists, but that tool is not sharp enough to stab somebody in the heart. Not only to stab them go through your skin, deep in your skin, but to go through your heart, the front wall of the heart, and penetrate the rear wall of the heart, going through your bone. No cleat tool can do that, unless you have to use a considerable amount of force that no human being is capable of exerting. No normal human being is capable of exerting that much force to put a cleat tool through someone's heart in both sides. You talk about the lies that these people are willing to say to push a damn narrative. It's beyond belief how much people on the left will lie, and absolutely pro-blacks will lie to push a damn narrative. And again, they don't stop to go out and do any research. If any information is true, they just hear rumors and they spread like there's no tomorrow. And this is one of my biggest problem with these pro-blacks, is that they're willing to lie like this. Anyway, in closing, I will say this, we will have to see the video. Eventually, they got to release the video to the public so everybody can see what happened. But I just don't believe all these people who supposedly saw these videos and they coming out, all these black folks coming out saying that he was ganged up on. My God.